think nowadays it's very easy to beat yourself up over any of your own goals, and it's really stupid. It's almost like you're being your own opponent, and this is something I really struggled with as well. When I was trying to get really serious with Muay Thai, for example, I thought, okay, like all these people are. Sorry, my eyes are getting watery for some reason, but I would think I wasn't very good because I was basically the worst one in the room. Genuinely, like the worst one. Every single session I was getting like humbled. Everyone had better cardio, seemed to like have better strength than me. They picked up on the drills much better than I did. Like I was just overall like the worst one there. So I thought like, okay, why should I continue then? But the thing is, like, the more you do something, obviously the better you'll get, but without having the self-belief that you can do whatever you want, you basically become your own worst enemy, right? And I'm not trying to be like some sort of like philosopher here, okay? I'm just telling you exactly this type of stuff I wanted to know when I started off with Muay Thai. When I started off basically with combat sports, I wanted to get better. I wanted to get really good. I don't want you to be your own opponent. I think that's a really, really big problem, especially with like, if you're really young and you want to get into combat sports. Just because you start off as like, someone that's not really talented, you don't pick up on the drills very quickly, like how I did. Like there's still times during drills where like I will listen to the instructor. He'll say the drill. Everyone understands it. My partner understands it, and then I'll be sitting there like, "What was that again?" And it's really stupid, and it's really dumb. Sometimes you'll have good days, sometimes you'll have bad days, but it doesn't. Just because you have a bad just because you have a bad day, it doesn't necessarily mean you'll always be bad at the sport, right? What I'm trying to say is you shouldn't let yourself be your own enemy, okay? And like, this is the thing. If you do, okay, you will very much struggle in a competition setting, because when you're in, if you're actually, competitive, you're in a match where you could risk getting knocked out, you're probably going against someone who really wants to win, okay? But if you don't believe that you'll win, your own body won't give you the resources to win, okay? Like, your mind is such a big part of fighting. Like, Cus D'Amato, he says like boxing is like 60% mental, all right? He said that to Tyson, of all people, all right? And now Tyson is like a physical specimen, like he's like one of a kind. Yeah, he said that to him. And I think it's because, well, if you allow your own limitation, you can't place mental limitations upon you. Otherwise you won't see your plans. You'll be too afraid to put your plans like forward. Okay, I will literally keep yapping about this as long as I can here, because this is like the most important thing. If you want to compete, or even if you just want to do it casually, you're gonna find like Muay Thai, for example, so much more fun if you just like try to enjoy it. Okay, don't be your own opponent. Don't beat yourself over it. Okay, like, don't think, oh, I've just been bad. Like, I've tried doing Muay Thai for this entire month and I'm still bad. Bro, I'm gonna make a video about this, but for the sessions I go to, I found when I'm like the worst fighter in the room, I actually progress so much more. I learn so much from that session, okay? Generally speaking, you don't want to be the best person, the most learned in the room, but you want to be like the dumbest one so you can learn from everyone, okay? And it's such a big hit to your ego, but it doesn't even matter. Like, you will become a much better fighter, or I guess student in that sense. It's like being in a room full of masters, whereas you don't want to You won't learn as much if you're like, the master and then everyone else is a student. You just won't. Okay? But it's just, I just don't want you to keep hitting, I don't want you to hit that wall. Okay? If you're competing, if you are preparing for your fight, for example, or if you plan to, okay? I want you to believe, yes, no matter what I do, if I follow like, this plan, this structure that my coach is telling me to do, if I watch these like random videos about drills, like these combos, keep working on everything, keep doing shadow boxing, I will win. Okay? Because I am doing more than my opponent. Okay? Because I am dieting better than him. Because I'm recovering better than him. You literally need to almost be like delusional in a sense. All right? You need to have confidence. Now it sounds like overconfidence what I'm stating, but like to have confidence in yourself, that is how you're going to move forward as a fighter. If you are not confident, you will struggle, and you're not going to have as much fun anyways. Okay? If you're not confident in sparring, okay, obviously, if you're in a room full of like, really experienced fighters, you will struggle. You just will. And no wonder why, you'll struggle with confidence, especially in the first few sessions, okay? Those are some of the most brutal, because that's when you know that you know basically nothing about the sport. But as you keep doing it, you pick on the small things, you're going to get better, that slight bit better, even 1%. That's a hell of a lot more than not showing up, isn't it? Just show up, okay? It might not seem like you're progressing, but you will always progress. As long as you put in the effort, as long as you listen to your coach's advice, as long as you literally just put in the effort outside of the sessions as well. Like, if you can, if you're doing like any sparring, rewatch your sparring videos and then just see, oh, how are you getting caught? How did this fighter sweep you? Like, how was it so easy whenever you try it, it just never seems to work? What are the differences? What are some of the fighters that you really enjoy watching? Why do you enjoy watching them? Is it their strikes? Is it because of how evasive they are? Is it how they make everything seem to flow into each other? And if so, how do they do that? What's their training style like? What's genuine like? It's almost like to an autistic level detail. I know you're not meant to say that kind of word, but like, that's the best way I can describe it. I cannot overstate that any more than that. Okay? Don't be your own opponent. Okay? Literally, if you be your own opponent, you already decide the outcome of any encounter. Okay? This is not an eating channel, right? But it's almost like if you wanted to ask someone out, okay? Like, you want to ask out a pretty girl, you do not reject yourself before you've asked her out. Okay, you literally need to envision in your mind that you can see yourself going out with her. Otherwise, your own body will shut yourself down. Okay? Terrible tactic. Just, you need to envision yourself with these things, okay? This is one of the reasons as well. I have like, it's not here, it's in my bag, but basically I have a journal. I also have it online as well, but basically this is what I did in preparation for my fights, but I wrote down what I envisioned, exactly how the fight would feel, how my opponent would react to me, how I would react to my opponent. I envisioned as many details as I could for my fights, and I won them all. Okay, you can believe me, you can take my advice if you like. I'm just telling you exactly what I did, so I can help you be a better fighter, especially because like not a lot of people talk about this kind of stuff, like, train hard, diet, drink water, sleep well. You probably know that, but you want like that extra bit of detail. And not a lot of people will talk about it. This is like, I guess, more esoteric knowledge. If you want to see more videos like this, you can subscribe, but like, yeah, that's just like a self-promo thing. But you want, if you visualize, okay, this is just one of the little things that some like the best fighters will do. They will literally visualize themselves in the ring and how they will move, how they will look as well. Okay, that's literally, when you think about it, it's almost like what shadowboxing is. Shadowboxing is about, well, obviously you don't see your opponent in front of you, but it's like you literally see yourself going through the movements, and sometimes you will like imagine your opponent in front of you, and you will throw combinations. In fact, there was even the study done where there were these basketball. Damn, my phone ran out of storage. Anyways, basically, basketball players, they wanted to practice their like free shot throw, okay, and the scientists, like, they measured like how much they improved week by week. But then they also had this other group of basketball players. They were from the same team, okay? I think it's from the same players. It's all the same players as well. And what they did, instead of getting them to show up for the free throws, like, you know, to improve, they had them visualize, like, literally, like, you know, in bed, they're just visualizing them going through the motion, like literally practicing it in their mind. And guess what happened? Despite them not being in the court, you know, not in their jerseys, not having warmed up, they just visualized themselves doing it, and they improved at the same rate. There was no like discernible difference between the group that physically showed up to the practice and put in the work to the group that literally just visualized it, okay? It sounds very wishy-washy, but the science is there for you, okay? I've literally given you like the mental, spiritual side, but the science also backs it as well, okay? I want you to try to do it as well. It's almost like, you know, obviously as an athlete, too much training will injure you, especially as a fighter. Like, it's very easy to overtrain. If you're on like a calorie cut as well, then it's much harder to recover very quickly. But your mind can take so much as well, okay? You can literally visualize, before you go into bed, you're like visualizing like a specific move you want to do, a specific drill, or how you go like bounce around the ring. Sometimes, like, you probably do this as well, but like in the like while your meal is being made or something, you'll just be like shadowboxing just in the kitchen, just making, like, waiting for whatever meal prep you've made, just like just shadowboxing just because you're trying to kill time, okay? That's actually a good way to get some more like shadowboxing in as well. Just throwing it in whenever, right? It's just good. But the whole point of this, don't be your own opponent. Don't shoot yourself in the foot before you even step into the ring. It's stupid. It wastes your time, okay? And the whole point of you wanting to fight is to win, okay? I'm telling you, like, literally all the key tactics that you can use in order to win. Because your opponent is most likely not going to be doing visualization shit, right? Like, I think I was the only person doing that kind of stuff. Like, who the hell does visualization? Writing in their journal about how the glove would fit around their hand. Like, it sounds weird, yes, but my goal was to like literally prepare myself mentally every aspect of the fight before I even showed up to the fight, so that on the day I was prepared. Mentally I was prepared because I know what it was going to be like, so that my body was going to be a lot calmer. And I know I haven't like posted any of the fights or anything, but I can see myself like literally in the fights because I have videos of it, and I'm very calm compared to like my opponents. I was very, very calm. They seemed very, I want to say like rushed compared to how I was. And I think a big part of it is because of the visualization. Maybe because, yes, my cardio was quite good, okay? But cardio can only take you so far, okay? Because they most like I assume they also did cardio as well. Like, you don't just step into a ring without any cardio. It's like a suicide, all right? But also, this is just another point as well. If you keep trying to be your own opponent as well, you are not going to push yourself as hard in training. You just won't. Like, you'll stop at maybe 60%, okay? Because you'll think to yourself, I'm not built for this. Why do I keep going? I'll just go home. Like, you won't try to stay around, for example, like after a session, half an hour, just because, like, you know, you might stay half an hour after a session so you can hit the bag. You won't do that kind of thing. Or like, even if you're tired, you won't stay like half an hour to clinch with one of your friends who's also going to compete. That's not something you're gonna do unless you have the mentality of being a winner, okay? If you have the mentality that you are going to lose, you are going to make yourself lose as well. Literally, just keep believing to yourself, I'm going to win, I'm going to win, I'm going to win, okay? Think about what the things a winner would do. Literally do all those things, okay? Give yourself literally like a stack of evidence that you are going to be a winner. Make it impossible for you to not win, all right? That is how you don't become your own opponent. That is how you instill confidence in yourself. Because whenever you do get those thoughts then that, oh, I'm not built for this, how am I going to win? Then you can say to yourself, okay, I've done like months of cardio, okay, where I've been out of breath every single time I showed up to like, or not, after my sprint training. I've shown up to my pads, I've worked on combos, I'm very clean with my combos I'm going to use in my fights. I've cleaned up all of this. I'm really good at shadowboxing now because I just seem to flow very well, and it works as a honing tool. Like, all that stuff is very important, okay? But none of that will really come to you unless you remove that mental limitation, all right? I will leave it there. I feel like I've yapped enough about it. It's a very simple thing. It's a very, very simple thing, but you can do it, okay? Most fighters don't think about this kind of thing. Take this on board, okay? There's no point watching these kind of videos and just doing nothing with it, okay? Knowledge is not enough. You must also apply, okay? Like, what's the point of going to school if you're not going to use the education? It's the same idea. You need to use it, okay? So literally, starting now, because you watch this video, if you reach this far, it means you're quite serious. Start. Become a winner. I don't know what else to tell you. Okay. Hopefully this is helpful. If you want to see more videos like this, you can. Just check my channel. Okay. Bye-bye.